What is going on, guys? Jason Burke here, Styles Clash for Life, coming at you on YouTube, and today I've got another edition of The Drive-In, where I watch recently released movies and tell you guys whether they're worth watching, worth waiting for, or worth skipping altogether. This is my fifth and final review. I did 5 reviews. I watched 5 recently released films over this weekend. I just recorded 5 consecutive reviews. This is my last one that I'm posting here, so if you guys want to go back and watch my reviews of VFW, Brahms the Boy 2, We Summon the Darkness, or Becky, those are all on my channel. Previously, go back and watch those. But right now, I'm reviewing for the final one of the night, 2019's Bliss. This is one of the most talked about hits of the film festival. I think it came out this year in Germany, but I think it came out in film festivals last year. It is currently on Shudder now, so if you guys want to watch it, it is available on Shudder for those of you that have it. This is a crazy, off-the-wall, part drug-inducing, part vampire, part erotic, part thriller, part artsy horror, art house. There are so many elements to this movie. I've got a lot to get into, and I will get into it right now. 2019 Bliss. This is directed and written by Joe Begos, who I just talked about. If you guys watched my VFW review, go check that out. I also love that movie. Joe Begos doing really good work right now between VFW and this. He's got 2 late 2019 hits on his hands. Really enjoy what he's doing right now. And this film is starring Dora Madison, who I will talk about at length here, Ian True Collins, and Jeremy Gardner as well. And essentially the story is, and I'm going to start off with non-spoiler, but essentially the story is a kind of down on her luck, just getting by artist who's a painter, seems to be falling on hard times. She can't get her paintings done in time. She's got trouble at work. She has trouble paying her rent. She has kind of a go-nowhere relationship. So this artist who's kind of down on her luck and struggling comes across this new drug that's called Bliss. And upon trying out this drug, she encounters not only some newfound success, but also some things that she cannot necessarily handle. Some new cravings, some new lusts, some new things that she never expected with this drug that changes her life and changes us as the viewer as well. Now, getting into the non-spoiler aspects of this, this is a lot of fun, man. I mean, first of all, it's not going to be for everyone. It's very art house. I'm not normally into films like this. It's very much the drug-addled, mind-trippy, crazy over-the-top, kind of heavy colors. It's one of those weird mind meld movies like Mandy, Color Out of Space, stuff like that. I normally detest those movies. Those of you guys have heard me talk about Mandy and stuff like that. I don't like those movies. I feel like there's really no plot half the time. All it is just random images kind of thrown together to make a really cool colored film, but there's no actual story or character development or anything. Nothing really happens. It's just a bunch of random drugged, like, sleepy dream sequence kind of movies, and I don't like stuff like that. I think it's a lazy way out. I think it looks pretty, but it has no actual sizzle to the steak, or really any steak, to be honest. It's more sizzle. But I think this one is the first ever, like, dream sequence kind of drug movie that I actually liked. This is the first time that I ever got into one of these image-heavy art house, deep delve kind of movies that I really got into. I mean, it can be slow-paced at times, and it's definitely psychological, but it really fits the story well. And the story is told through Dora Madison, who plays the artist, Desi. My own handwriting is getting sloppy at this point. It's late. Dora Madison is a star. Dora Madison was in VFW as the sidekick to the main drug lord in that movie, and she was great in that. Right away, I saw her in the first image of this movie, and I was like, I recognize her, and I looked her up, and man, she deserves so many awards for this movie. I'm glad that horror is starting to win mainstream awards now. I don't know if anybody's going to recognize Bliss being mainstream at all because it's mostly like an indie hit, but Dora Madison was so strong in this. Oh my goodness. I mean, she was, everything had to take place in her mind, and she had to do a lot of things with her facial expressions and her intonality and playing enraged and playing super sexual and playing, the high artist and kind of playing high energy and just going up and down and just showing the level and the gravitas toward all the different energies that an actor plays. She was able to get all those nuances of that character and the different drug states that she was in and different mind frames so perfectly on screen. In all films like this, obviously the coloring is the star, so I don't know whether a lot of the coloring was done in camera or it was done in post in the editing room. Either way, the filters used, the color grading, the lighting in general was excellent. That is always a star of a film like this, and this was done very well. The camera tricks, they did a lot of creative shots. They did a lot of blurred vision, a lot of like upside downs, a lot of falling into frames. They used empty frames very well. They used it for a lot of tension. Even at times when there wasn't a lot of horror in it, you were kind of waiting to see what was going to happen next. So even as the slow burn was burning, you were intrigued the entire time. This, again, art house and slow burn, so it's not going to be for a wide audience, and normally it wouldn't be for me. I'd be in the audience that would go, nah, slow burn, trippy, I'm not really into that. I was really into every second of this. I was captivated, and that was done by really good directing, being able to follow the story as a writer, and watching the main actor really play this out. So props again to Joe Begos and Dora Madison, who did an excellent job in this. Camera-wise, it was great. Editing-wise, it was great. It was smooth. It was seamless. Having Dora, Desi's character, go from being kind of refined to being upset about being down on her luck to kind of the different stages of drugs is well done. True Collins also as the best friend was in this. The boyfriend, Jeremy Gardner, was really good in this as well. The acting was solid all the way through. The story does kind of take some downward turns. Believability gets a little crazy toward the end. We're in this kind of almost supernatural realm in this, but it goes a step too far. So that's where I want to take a few points off, because some of the stuff that happens is too much in that trippy drug state for me to believe in. Because you can follow and believe in the story for 9/10 of this, and then toward the end it gets a little bit far-fetched. But because it does fit the style, I think it still works for this. I'm not going to take too many points off. Also the gore. One more thing, the gore as well. As much as the editing, camera work, acting, writing, and directing shine, the gore is a high point in this. And there's such erotic tones too. If you like erotic thrillers, this is done. There's a lot of sex, a lot of nudity, a lot of orgy-like things, and it kind of makes you feel dirty, but you're not sure whether you feel dirty from the drugs, dirty from all the blood and the gore, which is done very well, props to the makeup department, or if you feel dirty from all the sexual stuff. So you're kind of scared, you're kind of dirty, you're kind of turned on. You're in this erotic zone of like blood / art story / confusion / cool imagery that normally, wouldn't take me for a ride, but this one did the entire way. So I'm going to give this film a 7.5 out of 10. Again, taking a few points off for the kind of the ending and kind of leaving things where they left them. But as an artist who appreciates imagery and appreciates kind of where the art part of the story goes, this was done very well, and the story was kept on course, and it was told through good writing and through good acting. So 7.5 out of 10 for me. To those of you guys who don't want spoilers, that's the end of this review. Spoiler-wise, basically, Dora Madison takes this drug and kind of gets a bloodlust. She turns into a vampire, basically. She starts wanting more and more of this drug. She goes on days and days of a bender. She gets sicker and sicker, starts throwing up blood, starts craving blood, starts having orgies with her friends where she's kind of fed blood. Then she goes and starts biting people and tearing people up and tearing their heads off, and it gets worse and worse. And toward the end, people start turning into goo, basically. She kills them, but they're not actually dead. She tries to kill herself, but she isn't actually dead, and the painting that she's painting is turning more and more into herself. It's like a demon. So the story kind of falls off a cliff a little bit toward the end, because people that are dying are actually still alive, and then she's biting people's heads off, and they're melting into goo, but they're kind of dead and kind of not. So it gets a little weird and a little ambiguous, but that can be toward the benefit of the story as well. So that's kind of my spoiler portion. I really love this. Again, super strong. Probably even a little more than 7.5 out of 10. If this was 2020, I would say this was the best movie of 2020. But it is 2019, so we're counting it as last year. But 7.5 out of 10. What do you guys think of Bliss? I'm sorry if I insulted you about Mandy. What do you guys think overall of those trippy drug kind of mind movies? And do you want to see more of them? And do you want to see more of stars like Dora Madison and Joe Begos? Tell me in the comments below. This is my 5th and final review tonight. Go check out all the other ones. And I will see you guys soon. Tell me what else to review. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys again on the drive.